Okay, so it is currently 2:44 a.m. on May 4th, which is funny because that's the day you say May the 4th be with you, with Star Wars. I am documenting all of this because I think it's important for me, for my recollection. I ordered food through Instacart, which is what I did previously in other states that I lived in because it was convenient because I don't have a car. I understand that Chicago, everything is in close proximity to basically everything, but because I am targeted, I don't like to leave the apartment, and there's reasons for that because when you're targeted, people enter your home, without your authorization, and rearrange stuff, put poisons, toxins, things on doorknobs, door handles, things that you touch frequently, like your key, well, not your keys if you take your keys, but like your computer, keyboard, cosmetics, books, scissors, anything that you touch often, they'll do that. Food, obviously, they'll go in your refrigerator. But it's amazing because I make strides, right, like in healing and coping, and then something happens where immediately I'm reminded that the people that are doing this don't wish to let up, and what do I mean by that? There are days that are better than others. It sucks when you come across individuals. Some people are empathetic, some people are empathetic and they care and they're understanding. Other people are not so much, and those are the type of individuals that take a lot of convincing, and when you have to convince someone that you've experienced pain or betrayal or abuse or trauma, that they're either in on it or being paid off or whatnot. You can sit there, Bridget. And it's frustrating, and today I used Instacart. I bought groceries, and I was very excited about it. I literally spent the whole day, my entire Sunday, I kid you not, laying on the couch, because every day when you're targeted, every day is legitimately like a struggle. And what do I mean by that? It's either a psychological, warfare, spiritual warfare, or actual physical, like assault, meaning, or not like someone touching you, but like I said, people come into your home, rearrange stuff, put toxins, poisons. If you have an HVAC system, what used to happen to me a lot was they would put like aerosol gases and stuff, in my room, so it felt like I had shards of glass piercing my skin. So I thought at one point it was a refrigerant or an antifreeze. I haven't experienced it as much here, but I have endured carbon monoxide poisoning. I kid you not. And if you say, oh, if you experienced that, then you would be dead already. No, it's a miracle. I'm very strong-willed and I keep windows open. I've experienced what I think is they're called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, where basically some of them are toxic, some of them are not, but they will really hurt your lungs and deprive you of oxygen. Sometimes they use, I think, nitrous gas, like nitrous oxide. They use that. They've used actual oxygen, which could be fatal at high amounts. I think I've been exposed to ketamine through the air. Don't ask me how. I'm not a mechanical engineer, but that also happened. But today, and it's funny because I just did a video about a murder plot, yesterday I think it was. And it's funny, people write, I've had people comment and say, oh, don't let them deter you, stop you from eating. And my gut, I've listened to my gut, right? Especially as a woman's intuition is infallible. Like, no offense. And on my YouTube feed, what came up was, it said, making potassium cyanide. And I was like, And I immediately told my parents, I go, I'm really scared, this and this is happening. And it's interesting because there's one girl who's targeted, and on her account, her mom believes her. Like, her mom is also being targeted and harassed as well, unfortunately, but around her home. And when I tell my parents, it's more like very dismissive, like, oh no, it's not happening, there's nothing wrong with your food, there's nothing. And I'm like, well, why do I feel this way? And then they go, well, you need to go get a legitimate test, or like, you know, not get something off the internet. And I'm like, well, I beg to differ, because when you're targeted, people don't give you proper medical results either. It's really shitty. The whole thing is really shitty, and I don't like talking about it. But as I surmised, I ordered food from 2 different vendors here in Chicago. One was like a health conscious, organic forward vendor, and the other one was like a more affordable vendor. I wanted to get, 2 different, perspectives with both. And I spent almost $100, because, my family, they did, my father does help lend money for this whole thing. And, this whole thing, I mean, like, to me, to help pay for groceries, which I feel fortunate for. I should have trusted my gut, which is funny because my gut told me don't spend all of the money in one sitting, like, maybe use half and then whatever. And I should have just gotten the basics, and I didn't, because, I was hungry. I wanted to splurge, literally, like, I'm starving. Like, I went from 92 pounds to at least now I'm 99 or 100 pounds. I used to be 127 last year, and then I went down to 123 just because of stress and everything. And I was very just perturbed about where I was going to move to next. And so then I got to 123, then I went to 121, and 120, and then 117, and then I went down to 113, and then I started losing more weight after I got, my drink was spiked in Indiana. And my food too, with roofies. I think it was something like tranquilizers or sedatives, where it made my breathing like morphine or something like that. So it's been very scary. And people say, oh, she could just be making this up. No, I would never make this up at all. But today, which was very scary, this evening, or this morning, early morning, I had a lasagna from, prepackaged lasagna. I bought water, a certain water brand, like a water jug. I got milk, lactose-free milk, brownies from the bakery of that store. I was very excited about it. And because I was like, I'm going to do it. I was like, I'm going to turn a new leaf, and I'm just going to be brave, and I'm going to buy like regular food, because I get scared about my food, being tampered with or whatever. And lo and behold, maybe about, like, I ate half of the lasagna, and I've eaten this lasagna before in other states or other grocery stores. And I ate like half of it. I gave my dog Bonnie some of it. I don't give her chocolate. I know dogs are not supposed to have chocolate. I didn't give her chocolate. But I gave her some of the lasagna. I gave her, what's it called? What else? I gave her something else. What else did I give you? I also ordered McDonald's after as well. Bonnie, stop. I ordered McDonald's, which now I'm skeptical of, because I don't know if that's safe too. And I understand, when you're targeted, Bunny, can you go over there? When you're targeted, Bunny, go sit. Where do you want to sit? When you're targeted, thank you, River. Having people deliver food to you may not be the best idea, and I recognize that. I did it originally in some states because it was very convenient, and they were like smaller towns, so I didn't really have a problem with it. I was like, oh no, those people are harmless or whatever. I did have a scare with my pizza that I had. I was like, once or twice, and I just wrote it off. I was like, whatever. I just felt really like lethargic and tired and like relaxed. So what else? But yeah, I started to feel very, very strange. I'm pretty sure I had something similar to almost a heart attack earlier today, which was very scary because it was bad. I don't know if that's from toxins or poisons or from other things like technology and stuff. But basically, I felt like I was going to pass away. And as I was pulling cards, because I have like oracle cards here, even the coffin card fell on the floor. Like literally as this was happening, I kid you not, in real time, the coffin card fell. Bonnie, go over there, please. The coffin card fell on the floor. So that was very scary to me. And usually if a card falls on the floor, that's like a big like message, like please, like this is important. So that told me that someone was legit trying to end my life or take my life, because what I expect is that, or I assume is that in something, you know, it wasn't, I know panic attacks and I know psychosomatic disorders and stuff like that, because when your mind, you know, could try to make you think in like anxiety, but this wasn't that. I started to sweat. I felt like I had a bad headache. My head was like hurting, and I started sweating. I started trembling and shaking. And in anxiety, I don't get headaches. It's more just like labored, like hyperventilating. But I started to sink and feel like, oh God. And then I was trying to figure out who to call, because I kept tracking. I kept monitoring my my oxygen with my little handy dandy pulse ox, and you know, I was just watching my vitals the whole time, and I go, okay, my oxygen is good, but I felt like my breathing it was just off. I knew something was off. And so I did call somebody. My dad he was asleep, but I did call somebody that, you know, I've met maybe I've known for the past like few months, but I don't like to burden people with this kind of stuff, because it's frustrating, you know. It's very scary. It's very scary, and I literally bought a bunch of groceries, almost $100 worth of groceries, maybe like 10 things, or 11 or 12 things, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, like, or 14 things, and I don't know if I can eat any of it. And I also bought, you know, McDonald's here, you know, and I love McDonald's, you know, but the Uber guy who dropped it off, and I love Uber Eats. I don't want to say anything about Uber Eats, but when you're targeted and stuff, and you go through gang stalking, unfortunately, the people that, they'll either try to switch it out and get someone else to do it, but he didn't even, I go, do you want the PIN number? You know, like I go, you're supposed to give a PIN number for Uber Eats, and he didn't even, like, he's like, oh no, I don't need it. And so I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical I think I'm gonna report that. And I have proof of it because I have it on my camera, because I have a doorbell at my door for my apartment. So, because I asked him, do you want, you know, the PIN number? And he goes, no. And he kind of had his face covered, so I think I'm gonna let Uber know that I don't feel comfortable eating the meal, and I'll probably throw it out. So hopefully, I don't know if they'll give me a refund or not, but yeah. Make sure that if you ever order any food from anywhere, they're supposed to verify it, and you get a 4-digit code, PIN number. It's usually the last 4 digits of your cell phone number. And also another thing is, I don't know how he got into the building unless someone opened the door for him, but he was supposed to call me on the intercom or whatever. That didn't happen, so that was a little concerning. So safety concerns all around. Chicago is not for the faint of heart, I will say that. But yeah, I did open my windows a little bit for fresh air. But I'm pretty sure I was poisoned. I don't know if it's something I'm allergic to or what happened, but I did get to talk to someone, you know, that you know, it's a he. And do I feel better after the conversation? I don't know. I think people have a hard time like grasping the idea that someone could get targeted, you know? Because it seems so outlandish and unfathomable, like, right? Like, who's gonna sit there and go, oh, someone's gonna target you for 5 or 6 years, they're gonna do that to you and drug you and poison you? Like, what's the point of it? What do they get out of it, right? And yeah, it's very possible. You know, it's very possible. Sit, River. Sit. Sit, please, River. And there is like speculation that people use other types of technology and stuff to cause someone stress and, you know, from a distance, and hacking or brain hacking, biohack. I don't know how it works. I can't speak to it because I'm an authority on it. But it's very, 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 very frustrating. Thank you, River. And especially for this one too, because like, you know, as a dog mom, you know, I have to look out for her health and her well-being, and she hasn't had, okay, I'll put this, well, because of, you know, money is tight and stuff, she has not had water. Like, I have not given her water in like 2 days. She had some today, but I'm like really skeptical, and like I don't know if dogs need to have water. You know, and she also has this kind of cough going on as well, like clearing her throat. It happens repetitively. But this is very hard, and I don't know why people are just turning a, you know, blind eye to it. And if anyone says, if you're watching this for the first time and you're like, I don't know what this girl's talking about, and if you say, oh, well, if this is such a big deal, then why don't you go to the authorities? I did. I've been to the authorities in Virginia. I let the authorities know, I think in Indiana, when I had the weird scare with my drink being spiked. And then, where else? Where else did we say? Oh, Florida, of course, that's where it all started. So, yeah, it's very hard. And I don't want to, I can't afford an RV, I can't afford a camper van. I know some people go, oh, you can live in your car, you can live, you know, on the road and campsites and campgrounds. I don't have, like, when I say destitute, I mean like destitute. And I don't mind sharing that because that's the truth. This is life. And I didn't expect to be in this situation ever in my life. In fact, I had a pretty spectacular life. And because of one incident, because of one man, one guy, everything went to hell in a handbasket. I haven't even bought chapstick. Like, I have not bought chapstick because I'm afraid the chapstick could be contaminated. I don't know, the powers that be or whoever with all this stuff, I don't know. I think my lucky stars that I am a card reader. I know if you don't believe in that stuff, I do. And everything, it's funny, everything that comes out has been correct so far. Like, it's predicted everything according to what I thought. So, yeah. I feel blessed to be alive. I know I look like I'm okay and I'm fine, but an hour or two ago or an hour and a half ago, I was not. I literally thought I was gonna die in this apartment. Like, I kid you not. Like, I was sweating. I had a horrible headache. My stomach was hurting, like, underneath my ribs. And I was kind of trembling and shaking a little bit. And I know that's not how... I've had anxiety attacks before and panic attacks, like, years ago. And those have subsided, like, immensely. And this was not that. Also, my vision was getting a little blurry as well. So, take what you will from that. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what it could be, but given the fact that some scary Looney Tune person put on my YouTube feed, I think it said making potassium cyanide. I was like, I don't look up that. I don't care to know how to do that. I'm assuming that's kind of where it falls under the lines of. If you don't know what that is, it's, you know, I'm not even gonna go there because it's too scary. Because that stuff kills. Like literally, it kills. Or it could be arsenic. I don't know. I don't really want to know any of that stuff because, yeah. And also, the other scary part is, you know, I've been trying to, I haven't posted it yet, but I've been trying to, you know, chronicle my dating adventures because, yes, as a 34-year-old woman, I still do believe in love, and I do believe that, I know it sounds crazy, and I know all the targeted TI people are gonna be like, you're crazy, girl, because they'll kill you, and there's hitmen, and, you know, fake friends, and, you know, honeypots, and whatever, and all this stuff. Like, I get it. I'm not stupid. Like, I get it. You know? I get it. You know, honeypots are basically, they sweeten you up. It's this idea that, like, when you think of, like, a bowl of honey, you know, like Winnie the Pooh, or no, like with bees, right? Bumblebees, they make honey, but they also sting. But it's funny, I learned that when a bee stings you, they actually die. Like, their stinger comes out, I think it stays stuck in you, but the bee itself dies, which I didn't know. I found that very interesting. Same thing for a wasp or a yellow jacket, whatever. So something to take note of. But I've been stung a few times, like figuratively and literally. What else? So I am mindful of that, but I did start chronicling that just because, like, I want to have normalcy in my life. When you're targeted and you feel like there's a target on your back, or like someone has a hit on you, it's the most daunting. It's and I'm no one important. Like, I'm nobody important. Like, I'm one of the most basic bitches you will ever meet in your life. And I say that in the best way possible. It's almost like, remember, like in the movie Frozen, when Hans, like, I think it was, what did she say? She tells one of, like, the council people, or a duke or something, the Duke of Whistleton or whatever, and that's when Elsa goes in her rampage with the ice powers, and then Anna's like, I have to go after her and go up the North Mountain, and then Hans is like, no, whatever, and she's like, I need you to take care of Arendelle, and then he's like, okay, whatever, on my honor, and then the Duke of Whistleton's like, oh, do you have powers too? And she's like, no, I don't. She's like, I'm completely ordinary, and then Hans is like, oh, in the best way possible. So that's kind of like me. I am completely ordinary in the best way possible. I'm no one special. I'm no one important. Unbeknownst to me. Maybe in a past life I was something important. Maybe I came from a royal bloodline in a past life. Who knows? I don't know. All I know, I actually had a dream once where I was at the Holocaust. I was a little girl in the Holocaust. It was very scary. But that's an anecdote for another time. But I want to feel normal. I want to have normalcy in my life. I have goals, I have dreams, I have hopes, I have aspirations, and I've been brutally, and I know, and here's the thing, as an intuitive, I don't want to say psychic medium, but like as an intuitive person, if you don't believe in psychics or mediums, I'm not going to say that, but as an intuitive, intelligent human being on earth, I know and sense in my gut that there has been deception and dishonesty behind what's happened to me. No one could tell me otherwise at all. If someone tried to gas at me and be like, oh, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, or you're like, it's not that bad, like you're making it more than what it is. No. Like this shit is real. Like, I know I have a target on my back. And I did my research on, like, when all this stuff started happening. And I'm not an IT person, I'm not a techie person, I try to learn as much as I could within the time frame that I've, gone through all this shit. And I have like an intermediate proficiency in like computer stuff. Like I know like Microsoft Windows, Microsoft PowerPoint, no, I don't really know Excel that well. And I know something's off and something went wrong, and I got screwed over. So that being said, I don't know what to do, because like I have a fridge full of food. I don't even know if I can eat it. And it looks so good too. Like I got these black bean hamburgers, which were all like vegetables because I was trying to be healthy. I got these like this little pizza pie thingy. I got brownies, which look really yummy, but now I have to throw all of it out, maybe, or donate it, I don't know. And it's just, it sucks. And if you say, oh, well, go camping, go foraging, let me tell you, that would be the number one way to get someone, to kidnap them or traffic them, or like the number one way. Think about it, a woman alone, on her own with her dog, in the campgrounds. I don't have a car, so, someone on my YouTube feed, or the hackers that are doing this shit, they've insinuated that, oh, you need to live in the forest, you need to go camping, you need to do this. I don't have the gear, the tactical gear. I'm not a Girl Scout. I don't have the tools to be able to garden and create it's crazy to me that this shit is happening. It's wild. Like I still, it's very surreal. Like I have to pinch myself and go, is this really happening? Like I'll put it this way, I was the type of person, like I have here my Nordstrom notes, like I had excellent credit in like 5 or 6 years ago. No, not even 5 or 6 years ago, try like 3 or 4 years ago. Like to the point where like Nordstrom card, I'm part of Nordy Club, right? This is, I don't know how old this is, but like I would get Nordstrom notes. I have $10, $20, $30, no, I have $40, $50 worth of Nordstrom notes because I was an avid, like I went to Nordstrom a lot. I know it's a high-end store, but I had good credit, excellent credit, great credit line. And because of the financial sabotage and the gang stalking and targeting, all of that, when credit cards started to close, I had to be on payment plans. I never took a loan or anything like that. But I'm showing this because as an example, like this was like, these are like rewards, like Nordstrom rewards, like, certificates or whatever. And it just shows like, that's like a thank you note from, like free money. I have $50 worth of, but now it's like my life is the pits, and I go, I didn't deserve any of this. And I have no clue how to combat it, because police officers, either they negate it or they try to deny it and be like, no, there's nothing wrong. And then I'm like, okay, so does that mean they're getting paid and they're in on it? And then you have other people who are not police officers, who are civilians, who get bullied and harassed or whatever, and they're like, oh girl, like I believe you, I get you, I'm here for you. Like I have those people. But what I have found is that if anyone agrees with you or supports you, they get targeted too. And it's really shitty. It's really shitty. Once whoever these people are, they get to your support system, it's over. Once they get to your support system. And then here's the other thing, I think they lie to your family about you. Like they lie and they try to convince your family and say really horrible things about TIs, like, oh, that, like, or they try to, I thought maybe extortion. I thought maybe they like try to suck them dry and like, I don't know. Either way, it's just, I feel really blessed that I'm alive. I literally thought I was gonna die tonight. I kid you not. Like the death card, there's a coffin card in this deck, the Kipper deck. It literally fell on the floor the moment this shit was happening. I was like, oh shit. I was like, God is telling me right now, like something's bad. How am I gonna survive this? I don't know what I did. I don't know what I took deep breaths and I was just like, I don't know. but the amount of money I've spent like on heavy metal testing, anemia testing, thyroid testing, everything just to make sure that I'm okay is I spent, I think, 1 year almost $4,000 on out-of-pocket testing. $4,000, because I would go to the the hospitals and stuff, and they wouldn't tell me the truth. I felt like they weren't telling, like I had to go to like a homeopathic, holistic, integrative practice, and they did labs on me, like blood work, and they were the ones who finally said, oh, you tested positive for Lyme antibodies and Epstein-Barr virus. And I was like, oh shit. And something else, and thyroid. So it's a very real thing, folks. Targeting is no joke. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I nearly almost lost my life today or tonight. Literally, I almost lost my life. And my card is sticking out and it says yes. I don't know what to think about that. Imagine if it was your last day on earth. Imagine someone tried to kill you by drugging you and poisoning you, and then trying to cover it up and discredit you. I honestly don't know what to think of that. Even my shower, like I'm afraid to take a shower. There's a guy revving his engine outside over and over again. Go figure. I'm literally afraid to take a shower because I've taken showers before, like in other apartments and like an Airbnb, and I kid you not, like I felt so weak after the shower, and I go, what was I, like was it fentanyl? Was it like like lead or arsenic or mercury or cyanide? Like I don't know what it is. This is my reality. And if you say, oh, you're exaggerating, no, this is my reality. So I don't know. I don't know. Every day is a gift. I don't know how I'm gonna navigate the food situation. It's really shitty. Especially since, poison, by the way, is odorless. Poison is odorless, it's tasteless, it's you wouldn't know that you're being poisoned because it's has no taste to it and no smell. So that's the frightening part. And that's initially. So if anyone wants to say, oh, like I said before in another video, I haven't posted it yet, but oh, she doesn't eat, she's not eating, or someone recently, I think, thought, like an old classmate of mine, I think he thought that I had an eating disorder, and no, I don't have an eating disorder. I ate eggs. I gained weight because I was like, I'm gonna try to eat and stuff. And when I ate, by the way, I didn't feel too great. My heart felt like it was being stabbed. I had pain all over. I felt nauseous, drowsy, disoriented, loopy, so it came at a cost. But like, I think that's another thing, people will talk and start rumors and go, oh, this, but no, this is my recollection, this is my story, comes from me. So I don't have an eating disorder. I love to eat, and in my other video I was literally eating eggs while, so I don't know how this is all gonna play out, and I'm sorry if I cry. It's just, I feel like someone swapped destinies with me, and I know that's like a spiritual thing, destiny swaps. It's almost like someone knew what they had, or what I had in store for me, and they tried to bamboozle it and switch it, and maybe get like another version of me, like not a clone. What's it called? A doppelganger of me. And all I want is just to. I mean, all I was doing is I worked with kids. That's what I did. That's all I wanted to do. I was in hospitality. I was a waitress at an Italian restaurant. I worked in fine dining as well in Miami, and then all this shit happened, and my life completely just took like a 180 or 360. It's a scary feeling going, how am I going to eat? And it's I don't know if it's subscribed to my channel or not, but one person who viewed one of my videos commented, and he's very nice. I advise, check out his channel. I don't know if he wants me, if I could say that, but he's commented on my videos. And he also is being targeted. He's been targeted for like 6 or 7 years, he said. And he did mention, like, what did he say? Don't, he said something about like delivery drivers, like, don't have food delivered because they can get a perp to do it. And I get that, and be unpredictable and all this stuff. It's just, I just never thought this would happen to me, because life seems so perfect. And the shitty part is that some people just, I don't think they care. I don't know if I'm on some like list or something, I thought I go am I on some like like a watch list, but if my background checks come back clear, I don't understand it. Like when I worked at a preschool in Virginia, I remember one of the administrators, she came in the room and she's like, Ashley, I have good news. Your fingerprints came back, because when you work in childcare, you have to get your fingerprints done. And she says, oh, I have good news, your fingerprints came back, and I don't know, it's from Florida or Pennsylvania, but they're like, oh, it came back clear, so you're in the clear. And I was like, okay, great. I was like, awesome. So I'm very confused. I don't know who, I don't know why. And I want my life back. Targeting, and that's the thing, everyone's going through something really hard. Like there's people who are battling cancer. I feel like I almost could have gotten cancer, because with the toxins and the, how carcinogenic things are, and heavy metals and radiation, all that, and mold and whatever, you can get leukemia, lymphoma, tumors. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, I have a hit out all my life. I'm not kidding when I say that. And I don't know what to do about it. And like I said, I nearly almost passed away. Like I was close. Like something was going on. Something was brewing in my body. I know it for a fact. And by the grace of God, again, I'm still here. I just don't know how many more attacks these people are going to do. And I don't want to go yet. How many people get murdered? I mean, think about it. I'm literally making a video, posting it online on YouTube, telling the world, like, hey, I'm scared, I'm nervous. I have people drugging me and poisoning me every day, and I did nothing wrong. And there's nothing, I don't know what to do. And I'm not ready to go yet. I don't want to go yet. I have so many things that I want to do. There's so many places I want to go. I wanted to open a food truck. I wanted to adopt like a second dog for Bonnie, like a sibling dog, like a brother dog. I wanted to adopt a dog for Bonnie. I wanted Bonnie to have a home with like a yard that she can run around in. I wanted to go to this farm in Vermont called the Golden Retriever Experience or something, and they release like a bunch of golden retrievers in like a field, and then they serve you, they do like pancakes or something on Sundays, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to eventually save up enough money to get like an old school Jeep or a pickup truck. I wanted to pay off my debt that I have. I know that sounds like a silly like bucket list goal, but like that's just to say I did it, you know, like to say I did it. I conquered everything. I did everything, you know. I wanted to make like a cake for my birthday, which I did it last year for, I did it Powerpuff Girl theme, and yes, I'm 34, and I grew up watching Powerpuff Girls, and, you know, Blossom, Buttercup, Bubbles, and, I actually literally, I've made it the color of blue on the outside, like a pretty teal, like a, not teal, but like a baby blue on the outside, and then the inside was green. I put green and pink food coloring, and, yeah. But there's some like, I have on Pinterest like my vision board of what I want, you know, to do. And I don't know anymore. And no one gives a shit. I mean, there's people that are TIs that understand it, but the general population, they don't get it. They don't understand it because they're not going through it. And then when you explain it, you sound fucking crazy because you're like, who the fuck is gonna, you know, excuse my language. People just don't get it. Drugging, poisoning, why would anyone do that for that long to someone? Yeah. I don't know either. All I know is that I just feel like my light, like my essence, my being has been attacked, my reputation possibly, my health and well-being. And here's the thing, your health and well-being, you go to a doctor, like if I went to a hospital right now, like let's say I needed to go to the ER, I don't even have insurance, but I think, it's not FEMA, but EMTALA, that dictates like certain policies that someone, no matter your socioeconomic status or, you know, the level you operate at economically, you have to be seen by law, like federally speaking, you have to. So, yeah. I feel like even if I went to the ER, it would be like, oh, you had a panic attack. Oh, you had an anxiety attack. You know, and then they'll try to be like, no, we don't need to run a test for this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, let me explain to you what's going on. And then they'll be like, oh, are you on meds for that? And I'm like, put it this way, I don't even trust going on meds here, like at all. In a million years, I don't trust that. That'd be a perfect way for someone to kill someone. Give them, switch out their medication. I know you say, oh, Ashley, that's illegal. No one could do. Not when you're dealing with like maybe gangsters or mafia or who knows what else. I don't know. When you're targeted, they send the whole fucking cavalcade. You know, they send all the different little groups and mobs and this and that and whatever. Right? Because when people want someone gone, who do they send to do the dirty work? Not the upstanding people, not the upright, clean people, the other people. And I don't F with those kind of things. I don't do drugs. I don't talk shit. I don't do any of that. Those are not my social circles. I'm not in those kind of things. I'm a good girl. Like I went to a private Catholic school for middle school. I went to an arts magnet program. I went to a charter school my freshman year of high school. I went to a very well-known, almost like world-renowned, I want to say community college. Now it's a 4-year college. In the Miami community, Miami-Dade College. I mean, in Florida International University, like I'm well educated, well spoken. So something's wrong. And I don't want to lose my license, my life over this. Maybe someone wants me to lose my license, like my driver's license, or discredit me, or say that I'm not like a Floridian. I don't know. But I am very scared. And I'm not kidding when I say I nearly almost lost my life. And I also had a weird heart issue earlier too. Like it was very strange. I don't know why that happened. I do think I have thoracic outlet syndrome from having poor posture, but it also, I think, is something else. So, if you do hear this and see this, please, like, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I've exhausted all my resources. I've reached out to different agencies. Family really doesn't care, to be honest. Like I think they feel burdened by this, to be honest. I hate bringing it up to the people that I try to date because it's the focal point of my life. You know, I have to like vet everybody. I have to like not interrogate, but I need to like interview them to make sure that they're like kosher and legitimate, and it's very, very hard. And then trying to meet the right partner who will champion you and believe you and not gaslight you or deceive you or trick you, that's even harder. Because, perps and stuff, they get paid off. Honeypots, like, people get paid off. And they're, like, really sweet and nice to you, and then it's like they'll pull the rug from underneath you and be like, ha, got you, I do feel like I'm a cat with like 15 lives at this point. And that tells me there must be a reason that I'm still here. God is like, or someone up there, I don't know. I don't know what the afterlife or what the spiritual realm looks like. I think I witnessed an angel once. I'm not kidding when I say that, or some light being or something come to my aid a few years ago. I don't know how that works. I don't know, because it's miraculous. Like it's a miracle. And then sometimes I have survivor's guilt because I go, why me? There's so many people in the world going through such tragedy and hard things. I go, why me? Why me? And I ask God, I go, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? I don't want to go, like, I don't want to leave, but I'm scared. Imagine people trying to harm you. Like, that's my reality. You people don't understand, that's my reality. Imagine someone trying to harm you. And you can't do anything about it. Law enforcement turns a blind eye, or some people care, but they don't know what to do about it. and your family slowly either distances themselves from you or tries to gaslight you to make you think that nothing is going on when you know that something is going on. And like I said, I'm trying to maintain and sustain a job, a new job at that. Even though I prefer to move, I really would love to move. I don't even know if moving is going to be effective or not, you know. So if you do believe in prayer, you know, prayer is much appreciated. I do believe that some people are praying for me, maybe that I don't know. And maybe that's why I'm still here, because prayer is powerful. Like, I know I pray for a bunch of different people. When I feel like something is too hard or I you know, out of my control, I will put them in my prayer box, or just, you know, wish people well. And I close my eyes and I envision, you know, I don't know, goodness, hope. I don't know. Hope feels so good. Hope is really comforting. I have an idea of what I want my life to be like. I just feel so far from that right now. Because like I said, I had everything. And all my savings is gone. All of my savings is gone. Because every single apartment I've been in, it's been the same situation with the targeting and the harassment and the, you know, the side-eyeing and the people putting ammonia or sulfur. I mean, it's insane. But any help would be appreciated. I don't really know in terms of law. I don't know what to do about that. I'm not a lawyer. I know lawyers, but I'm not a lawyer. And I don't know if there was a mix-up. I don't know if someone tried to lie on my name or framed me for something, because that happens in targeting. I don't know. You know. So, if you are someone, you know, this all originated in Miami, Florida. I tried to make peace with the individual that this all started with. I wrote him an email several months ago, back in like October of last year. Didn't write back. I didn't expect him to. I just, in that moment, I thought I was going to pass away, because I'm pretty sure I was, you know, being ASSASSINATING at that point. So I thought my life was gonna end. So I you know, reached out to the people that I just wanted to make peace with, and one of them was the person that this all started with. The other one was someone that I thought I could confide in, and he always kind of was there to comfort me. And so yeah. Prayers would be much appreciated at this time. And I don't want to kick the bucket, and I don't deserve to be assassinated either, because I do feel like that's what's going on, and I'm no one important, and I don't know why people would do this. So if again you are someone that has answers, or you're going through it yourself, or maybe you know of someone who helped someone get out of it, or you know, any help would be appreciated, whether it's Miami, New York, Chicago, LA. I don't really know much about LA. I just know that's the, you know, Hollywood glitz. I don't really do any, you know, but maybe the East Coast, if there's anyone, you know, because I can't do this on my own. I can't. So, like I said, any help would be appreciated. My main concern is safety, my food. and I can't buy like all these test kits to test my water quality or heavy metal toxicity or anything like that, just because it costs a lot of money. A lot of money. So, yeah. And if you are targeted yourself, my heart goes out to you. It really does. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. And I don't know what lies are being said about me, you know. They might be really horrible, cruel, like bad stuff. And I feel for you. And if your family's, you know, getting targeted and attacked, you know, I think collectively, people that are targeted, we all need to come together and like, I don't know, maybe create a community somewhere, you know, like in the Walking Dead show. I think I mentioned this before. They actually had, you know, everyone create like this community, and that's kind of because no one understands the experience unless they live it themselves. You know, we all would need a lot of, you know, therapy and maybe psychiatric support, but psychosocial support. Because our story is very unique. We don't live lives like everyone else. We live, you know, day to day. Every day is like a struggle in the sense of like, you don't know if you're going to end up in poverty, you know, destitution, someone lying about you to try to get you arrested or framed, hacking, illegal surveillancing. We have unexplained bruising and pain in our bodies, you know. Our food, like I said, food. Now I think I'm getting it really bad. Where now it's like fatal doses of things. Like I think I've experienced mercury, lead, fentanyl, bee venom, Botox, neurotoxins, cyanide, arsenic. I mean, you name it. Like I'm pretty sure that's what I've been experiencing, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying because you don't know what it smells like, you don't know what it tastes like, so and just trying to find ways to keep yourself alive. It's like the Hunger Games, it feels like that. So if you are listening to this and you got this far, thank you so much. I know it's been like an hour long, but I'm really scared, and I do have a GoFundMe. I took it down because I feel weird asking for money. It's so weird. Like I never thought I'd be doing that. I was always the one to give away money, you know, and now I'm the one that's like, you know, and I want to reiterate, no, I do not do drugs. No, I don't have an eating disorder. I'm not addicted to opioids, THC, anything like that. I don't smoke cigars, cigarettes, vape. No vape pens. I know that's like a big thing nowadays. And I don't want to judge anyone that does vaping and all that. Just, I mean, be mindful because nicotine is very addictive. I've had family members who were chain smokers and stuff. So, but yeah. The most I've done is Benadryl, and I've taken Lexapro, which is an SSRI, right? And guanfacine, because ADD, you know, my mind, because of targeting, my concentration and focus has gotten a lot worse. But I've learned to manage. I try to keep my mind aligned and focused as best as I can. So yeah. But I just wanted to get up close because no, I don't have any like previous history like of mental health. Like I never had any mental health disorders before all this stuff started happening. So and addictions, I don't have any addictions. Porn, no, I call porn corn. Porn, sex, no. I value intimacy. I think intimacy is beautiful, it's wonderful, it feels really good when it's with the right person. But that, no, I'm not addicted to that. Gambling, no. Drinking, no. Shopping, not really. I like finding bargain stuff, but I'm not I don't want to splurge on expensive stuff. I prefer bargain shopping, like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, things like that. I love Marshalls, and I used to love going on Amazon as well. I'm trying to think anything else, but that's it. Am I obsessed with religion? No, I am spiritual. I'm not very political. That was a goal of mine last year, to understand politics a little bit more, just because I didn't want to be in the dark about it, because it was a big, focal point in the last few years. I try not to judge people anymore according to what their politics are, because that's never good. It doesn't help anyone to judge people depending on what your political affiliation is. And at the end of the day, I realized red and blue makes purple. So if you're in the middle, like, if you're moderate, you're more purple, I guess. Or whatever. Anyways, I'm not gonna go and sit there, but I want to live a normal life. I do take this seriously. It's not a joke. Please don't look at it as a joke. I'm well educated, I'm smart. I went through a series of unfortunate things that were not within my control, and it's escalated to the point where now I don't know anymore. I don't know. People are like, with targeting, they're like, it's the government, it's this, it's that, and I'm like, but why would anyone want to hurt some woman, like, who's minding her own business? Doesn't really make sense. So I don't know how this week is gonna go, because all the food that I just bought, like, that water jug, I don't really think it's good water. The milk I bought, don't think it's good milk. The eggs, I don't know if anyone could tamper with eggs. I don't know how. I do know that if chickens are raised in a coop or in a pasture where there's like arsenic and stuff, that could go and feed into the egg, production process. But other than that, I don't really know how eggs can get contaminated. But anything liquid, water, milk, juice, soda, smoothies, all of that can be tampered with, unfortunately. So thoughts and prayers would be much appreciated. It's funny, I gained weight now, right? And it's like, watch me now, because there's someone who commented and said, don't let them keep you from eating. Well, I don't wish this upon anybody, but it is frightening when you have to experience a possible poisoning attack, like with cyanide or mercury. Even if it's in like trace amounts, it still affects you adversely. Abdominal cramping, blurry vision, or double vision, retinopathy, retinal neuritis, or optic neuritis, inflammation, which is inflammation of the optic nerve. I get hepatic pain by my liver and my kidneys. Poison causes kidney failure and liver failure. Because your kidneys filter out the blood in your body, and poison doesn't really have anywhere to go until you pee it out. But it can do a lot of damage to the renal things in the tubules. So yeah. And I'm scared of organ trafficking. That's another one. Organ trafficking is a very prevalent thing. It's very real. I don't know how prevalent it is here in the US, but apparently it's very prevalent in China, and I think another place in South America. I'm not going to say, I don't know which country, so I'm not going to just pull a random country out, but I think South America and China, from what I understand. So again, any help is appreciated. Advice. I will say, I do believe my phone, my computer, and all that's still to be hacked. So, and there's different spyware that basically, there's spyware where they can like control your phone in real time and see what you're doing. So that's very terrifying and daunting. Like they can track you, like GPS navigation and stuff. So if you do reach out to me, be mindful of that. I wouldn't want your family members to get targeted. I do understand that like civil rights and human rights attorneys, like public defenders, those are, you know, they do help and stuff, but I don't even know where I'd begin with that, honestly. I can't afford a lawyer, like, to pay a retainer, and I don't even know what I'd be fighting for. Like, I don't know if it's personal injury, I don't know, human rights, civil rights, I don't know. So, I've even thought about it, and I go, what if someone discriminates me on the basis of sex, religion, you know, faith, race, politics, you know, I don't know. That's the world, that literally the world we live in now. People will judge someone or treat them differently based on their, you know, sexual orientation, their race, their religion, politics, skin color. It's really sad. So, yeah. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I would, you know, I know people go, oh, please subscribe to my channel. I'm not gonna say that. It's my thing now is more so if you come across my video and you listen to it, I want you to heed it and pay it forward and do what you can to prevent cyberbullying and gang stalking in your community and lies and smear campaigns and also sexual assault, verbal assault, sexual assault, emotional abuse, narcissism. These are all things, especially women. As women, we are the inferior sex by default, and we will get discredited. Some people believe, oh, the woman's place is in a home as a homemaker. Some women's place is not to be a lawyer, not to be a doctor. They're supposed to darn a guy's socks, stay home, pop out babies, and that's great. Being a mother is one of the hardest jobs in the world. I would love to be a mom one day. Not now, but someday. And I would love to have a little boy or, you know, a little girl, and whether it's by natural, you know, birth or by adoption. There's a lot of children out there in the foster system that need homes, or parents willing to, you know, give up their child, unfortunately, to, you know, give them a better life. I actually myself am adopted, so, which is pretty cool. I don't really think of it as like, I'm just like, you know, it's part of me. I'm like, whatever, you know, but that is something that's near and dear to my heart. And anything else I wish to share, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, pay it forward, help people, food pantries, you know, guidance in terms of like how to navigate this whole thing. I do think it is sensitive because I think there's a criminalistic aspect to it. It seems very corrupt, everything I've gone through, and it really is like a blessing from God that I'm still here, because I've been through a lot. It's indescribable, actually. It's very surreal. So, and I know you say, oh, where's the proof? Well, I can't, you know, there's certain things I didn't take pictures of. I did take pictures of some license plates. I've had bottles of urine rolled to rental cars that I've been in. I think people, when I went to rest stops and service plazas, I think people had eyes on me and they tried to literally either abduct me. I'm not kidding. Sketchy people out there. So just stay vigilant, and, you know, prayer is really powerful. And this is not the time, folks. Please, this is not the time for women to hate on other women or be catty and petty. It's not the time. It is not the fucking time. Not the fucking time for women to hate on other women, to pick on them. We should be lifting each other up, helping each other, be like badass bitches. I'm not a badass bitch. I don't consider myself a baddie. You know, that's just not me. That's not me. Which is fine. I'm not here to gain favor or votes for what popularity. I just want safety and security and truth and justice and literally liberty for all. And I don't want my head on a stake because of that. Because no matter your race, no matter your sexual orientation, no matter your political affiliation, everyone fucking matters. Because at the end of the day, you take away all that stuff, if you strip someone and you debase them of their identity, of their, not their identity, of just all the things that we think are important, career, job title, marital status, body count, accomplishments, money in your bank. Once you strip someone of that, of everything, we're all the same. All the fucking same. We all shit, pee, poop, laugh, cry, the same as everyone else. We all just look a little different. And I don't know why, for the life of me, anybody would sit there and try to harbor ill intent towards another individual who's not hurting or harming anybody, and then starting lies and smear campaigns about that person in an act of retribution. That is ridiculous. Because I'm not sitting here talking shit about other people. I'm sitting here trying to make ends meet, pay off payment plans, pay off debt, give my dog a good life, give myself a good life, and find safety and peace and solidarity. That's all I want. And if I have to lose people along the way, then that's okay. Hopefully some people will stay. But I trust in God, I trust in the universe, I trust in myself that I will, find people that are aligned with my highest self and my highest good, and hopefully people will support me and champion me, and be willing to take that risk. Because when you're targeted, like I said, anyone that helps you, they're risking their life for you. And if you do have a support system, please, regardless of targeting, irrespective of it, please be grateful for the people in your life, especially if they love you so much. And, that's really rare. When you have at least a handful of people in your life on one fist, or even just one person or two, that is a gift from God. That is a blessing. You don't need a million people in your life to make you feel special or valued or validated or important. As long as you have 1, 2, or 3 people that show up for you when you need it, not when everything's good and fine and dandy and they get what they want and you give them money and they're happy. No, I'm talking about the people who are there for you when you're sick, when you're in a bad mood, or when things don't go your way, or when you're broke and down and out and you've hit rock bottom, or like I like to call it, bikini bottom. Those are your true blue friends, and hopefully family members. And please hold them tight, because I'm telling you, life is so short, and I nearly almost lost my life 2 hours or whatever hours ago, and that is not fair to me and Bonnie. So please take this seriously. I'm not joking. And there is a targeted individual. Her name is Lisa Legg. She's on Instagram, and she is really good at editing videos and documenting things and compiling it and formatting it and conveying it to an audience in a way that is digestible and understandable and believable. So if you don't believe me, go check out her channel. A lot of people will say, oh, she's crazy, she's a sociopath, she's a psychopath. No. Literally, her recollection and her account of what's happening is literally what's happening to me and Bonnie. So if you're someone and you have some sort of pull in the community, or you have, I would say, clout, please do something, because maybe it doesn't affect you directly, but if you're an empath or you're an empathic person, we are all going to be, like, collectively, as a collective consciousness, like, we are all going to be affected. No matter, and if you don't believe in string theory, I believe we're all interconnected, right? What you do directly affects another person, whether you believe it or not, even if it's on a small scale. So if you think that, oh, I'm not going to help that woman, whatever, I promise you, one day what's happening to me could happen to you, or could happen to one of your loved ones. And instead of being a bystander and going, oh, I'm just going to poo-poo this off, it doesn't matter, trust me, harm to one is harm to all. That's how I see it. So please heed my, not say warning, just, like, I don't know what the word is, just heed what I'm saying, because I'm not making it up. I would never just do something for attention. And like I said, some days are better than others. Some days, yesterday I was dancing Zumba, or trying to, and then today I'm sitting on the couch and I was literally sweating. I had a horrible headache and I felt like I was gonna lose consciousness, and I started to tremble, and my heart rate skyrocketed and elevated, and that told me that my body was trying to fight off something. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. So I want to live a long, happy, healthy, prosperous life, and I can't do that alone. So, you know, two heads are better than one, and you know, there's strength in numbers. And I'm not trying to like start, like, you know, be like, come on people, let's rally up and gather together. I'm just saying that, like, I feel at a disadvantage because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police officer, I'm not, you know, I was a child life specialist. I worked in healthcare, in, you know, advocacy, you know, not like a caseworker or social worker, but just as a psychosocial support person for kids in the hospital. And I then was going to study occupational therapy, and because of all this, what happened, I actually declined going to FIU OT school. So all of my hopes and dreams kind of fell to the wayside, and I have to start over again. And starting over is really hard. Healing is really hard. You can't heal in a place that makes you feel unsafe. Healing is hard, period, while you still feel traumatized. And I know people go, oh, maybe it was a PTSD, maybe it was a panic attack. Trust me, I don't sweat and I don't get, you know, almost like a fever or a headache when I get a panic attack. It's usually more of like my upper respiratory, like shallow breathing, you know, than blurry vision and a fever or a headache and sweating and muscle, you know, like stiffness, rigidity, or trembling. So any help would be appreciated. And like I said, you don't have to subscribe to my channel. Like, I wouldn't want to hear a woman talking about targeting every day either. It's just more so I'm trying to get my message out, because also too, should anything happen to me, I don't want people to go, if someone says, oh, she was so down and out, she took her life. That is not the case at all. I have literally a Pinterest board where I'm like, I want to go to the Bahamas. I would love to have a food truck one day. You know, I want to go to the Notre Dame Cathedral in France. I want to go to Provence, France. I want to go to like Amsterdam, where they have the little bicycles and the little bridges or whatever. You know, I don't know if it's the Netherlands. I want to get a brother dog for Bonnie one day, or foster a dog. Maybe have my own business one day. Those are all hopes and dreams. So I'm very much not wanting to give up on life. Not yet. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thoughts and prayers would be appreciated at this time. God bless. Peace.